Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. Wow. You want to talk about some news? There's a lot going on today. I mean, a ton. It's crazy.
The big news.
News? What news?
We're going to talk about the transfer portal. We're going to talk about folks coming back, folks that are leaving. There's the Tennessee-Mississippi State game. There's so much news, it's crazy. And at the end, I'm going to tell you about the fan that sent burgers to Dabo Sweeney, which is a classic. We're also going to talk about a 5-star that's high on the Vols and talking about them a whole bunch. There's almost too much in this, and I'm going to try to cram it all together into a really fun video, and it's going to be super informative. I was worried about whether I'd have any content in the wintertime when I started this channel about 5-6 months ago. This is crazy. I mean, there's more news out today than just about any day of the year. Now, we're going to start out with news that I don't like, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal when it's all said and done. But we're going to talk about this because it's important. All right, we're going to start out with Jalen Wright. He has sort of put out a cryptic tweet about whether or not he's going to enter the transfer portal. And he didn't come right out and say it, but look, you know, Twitter's how a lot of these young people communicate these days, and it's pretty clear. Now, I'm sure some of you folks that really stay on top of the Vols football probably know about this, but it just happened with Jalen Wright. He said, this is a business, nothing personal. And then he took down his little Tennessee logo, obviously. So why this is important is Jalen Wright's our leading rusher from last year. And he's a good running back, a real good one. He's quick, and he runs pretty strong for his size. Now, he's not entered the transfer portal is my understanding. He's not entered it yet, but he has kind of put this cryptic tweet out there. I think what he's trying to tell the Vols and Spire Sports is this.
Hey, Jerry, you better yell, show me the money!
Yeah, if I had to guess, otherwise he would have gone ahead and entered the transfer portal. Now, there are rumors that North Carolina is trying to get him, but those are just rumors at this point. So we'll see how this plays out. This happened a while back. I think it was last year with Tyler Barron, but he was in the transfer portal for like a day. And I think the Vols kind of freaked out for a moment and made sure he got out of that portal and back on the team. So we will see what happens there. But I think at this point, we should probably just remain calm.
Remain calm. All is well. All is well.
That's right. Just remain calm. We also had 2 other guys that actually have entered the transfer portal. So let's get into these 2 fellas. And this first guy is Walker Merrill, and he was a 4-star when he came from high school. I think he was kind of a low 4-star or a super high 3-star, a very good player. He's a good player, but he really hasn't gotten on the field a ton. I think he had like 10 or 11 catches last year for a little over 100 yards, but he did have 3 touchdowns, which is pretty cool. And I'm thinking he's probably feeling like he's the odd man out. And as you know, they're talking to Dante Thornton, who's coming in this weekend, a 6'5" athletic freak from Oregon. And I think the Vols are pretty high on him. So he's probably feeling like with these new guys coming in, all these freshmen that are, 4 and 5 stars basically, and they're talking to this Dante guy that he might be the odd guy out, especially when you've got Squirrel White and Ramel Keaton and Brew McCoy, and you've got a big tight end coming in. I mean, I understand. He probably is like, man, I don't want to be on the bench when I can play. So I kind of get that, and he's going to get picked up. I can assure you of that. There's going to be plenty of teams interested in this guy. We also had a lineman, which is R.J. Perry, and he had not been getting on the field a whole lot. He's a big dude and a good depth piece for us. But unfortunately, look, there's only so many positions out there, and he probably saw himself as the odd man out. He was kind of on special teams quite a bit, and it just wasn't happening for him. And this is a guy that could play somewhere. So again, as I've been saying this whole time, I'm trying to stay consistent. If you're not getting on the field, it's understandable to hit the transfer portal. Now, what we don't want is our leading running back going into the transfer portal. So he has not entered yet, like I said, but you understand when these guys that aren't getting to play, they're 300 pounds, big, strong, athletic dudes. They're like, man, I know I can play somewhere. So, they transfer out. Maybe we can get somebody that's maybe a little better, that can help our team because our team's improving very quickly and it's getting harder and harder to get on the field. When you reach 11-2 and you win the Orange Bowl, a lot of high quality athletes are going to look real hard at you and start moving towards you. And we also got news that Jacob Warren, tight end, of quite a good one too, is going to come back next year. He had 1 year of eligibility left, I think, because of the virus and all that. So it looks like he's coming back. And I saw an interview with him. I believe it was Hooked on Vols, which is a channel I like to watch from time to time. And it was an interview with the guy that runs that channel, which is his last name's Hooker. I believe that's right. And Jacob Warren was interviewing. And Jacob's a really smart dude and a good guy. So he's a good representative of the team. And so I'm real glad he's coming back. He's just a good dude that's a quality athlete. So we got that good news. Now I'm going to tell you about a 5-star linebacker, which I highlighted in a video a few days ago that I told you was pretty high on the Vols. And he has been talking about the Vols quite a bit. And I think you're going to find this very interesting. And this guy is Sammy Brown. He is a 5-star linebacker out of Georgia. And he has the Vols high on his list. And he was quoted as saying he thinks the Vols are going to be playing for a national championship soon.
No way.
Yes way. Bill and Ted, you don't know crap. Anyway, he said what Josh Heupel's done in just a couple of years is really unreal. And he's pretty fired up about the Vols. And I think the Vols have a real shot at this guy. And, man, would he be useful. A 5-star linebacker. Oh, man. And this is a guy that's going to play in the NFL. I'll just go ahead and tell you. So I found that real interesting. We could really use a 5-star linebacker. Now we're going to talk about Vols basketball. Man, they were on fire. They were like this last night. Yep, they weren't missing. Look at this score, 87-53. And look at our guys. Phillips was 5 for 6. Olivier was 5 for 5. Plavix, once daily Plavix, was 5 for 5. Vescovi started off real hot. He was making 3-pointers like crazy at the first of the game. Key was 2 for 5. They shot 69% and 57% from three-point land. And everybody scored. Everybody scored in double digits. It started with the exception of Key, who had 6. Owaka had 9. Man, he played well. Ziegler played great as always. And Triple J, Josiah Jordan James played as well. And I told you folks yesterday it appeared his knee was getting better. We'd gotten some good reports that he might play last night, and he played real well. And he looked like he was without pain. And I think he said he's been without pain for several days now. So it looks like things are getting better, and hopefully that continues for him because he's a very important piece to this team. All right, now we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects currently, and that's been Dabo. And as you know, he had his little, for some reason, I can't seem to let this go. Now, I like Dabo. He's a good dude, but look, he threw shade on us when we were down, and look, this is how it goes. He talks smack. So the Vols fans are not letting this go. It's not just me. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Story says a Tennessee fan shipped ultimate burger troll to Dabo Sweeney and shows the receipts. Talks about Tennessee fans have a long memory. And, of course, this all had to do with Dabo talking about calling us out, saying we'd been flipping burgers with 2 games to go and not paying attention to South Carolina, basically, and et cetera. And they said they're flipping burgers at the house, having a cold drink, watching the championship weekend. What are we, 3 or 4? We going to Arizona, we going to Atlanta, and the next thing you know, you forgot to go play. So, what did you expect was going to happen? Now, granted, karma's a weird thing. And he winds up getting beat by the same team. Then he winds up having to play us in the Orange Bowl, and we whoop him. And I'm sitting here going, man, that just could not have worked out worse for him. A Vol fan shipped him 24 6-ounce burgers via FedEx from Omaha Steaks. And here's the FedEx receipt where they sent him Clemson University football to Dabo Sweeney. So, look, I'm not the one to beat a dead horse, and just continue on with this kind of stuff. I just don't do it. I just want to say, look, Dabo, you made your bed. You might as well just lie in it. And, maybe I ought to send him this. Anyway, I thought you folks might enjoy that story. And actually, I've got the new recruiting video that they're using over there at Clemson, and I think you might like it. Yep, they're really taking this thing to the next level. All right, folks, that's a lot more news about the transfer portal, people coming back, people possibly leaving, a 5-star that's high on us. Of course, beating Mississippi State. That was a heck of a game, man. That's as good as I've seen the Vols play in a long time. And then, having a bit of fun with Clemson. I'll get tired of it eventually. Eventually. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. That's been able to continue to cover the Vols. And if you have not subscribed, it's right here on your left, And a lot of you folks, you watch my videos, but you don't press that button. It's super easy. Just boop. That's all you got to do. Doesn't cost you anything. Just hit that button. Anyway, and a video right over here that YouTube thinks you'll like based on what you like to watch. And it's a good video. Be sure to check that out. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.